Planning and Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
Yeah. Welcome to the ride. Welcome to Ride Along Live for today. It's Monday. Yeah. Share the thing. Very insightful conversation today, guys. We want to get everybody involved. Let's chat. A lot to talk about. We got some major updates for you as well concerning which seems like a global, international crisis. Boy. Craziness happening, guys. Corey, Bailey, how you doing? Lydia, James, how you doing? Good evening, riders. Everybody share the thing. Everybody share the thing. Share it to your followers. Share it to your friends. Today we have the man himself, Raymond Mathew the Beast, who is the Assistant Superintendent of the RGPF. He's here with us. We're going to be chatting. We also have social and political commentator from Jamaica, Choppa John West, a good friend. Choppa Chaps Media, I believe. I want to get it wrong. And also a social and political commentator from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Kenson King, is here with us as well. So we're chopping up the thing. Yeah. Tag somebody, guys. Tag somebody, because we're going in real quick. We ain't wasting no time. A lot to discuss, guys. Now, if you guys been paying attention over the past week, you would recognize that we spent significant time talking about the incident that occurred in Grenada that caused it's not a release, you know, it's an escape of 3 prisoners from the South St. George Police Station in Grenada. Now, following that report, we found out that these 3 young men were alleged in the killing of 2 American yachties, right? That they somehow took from Port St. George and went to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, right? So somewhere along these lines, it's alleged that these 3 men already facing criminal charges in Grenada for rape and robbery and all sorts of nonsense. It's alleged that these 3 men murdered, because that's where it's at right now. Evidence was found on the yacht that clearly speculate that somehow these 3 Americans on the yacht was murdered somewhere in the vicinity between the waters of Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So these men were held in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They were captured in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They pled guilty in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for entering the state unlawfully. They were captured, and we all saw the video that was posted of the capture. Some might say that they was treated rough. They was roughed up. And, you know, people are concerned. Now, we saw a video that also went viral here and Right Along Live of a family member calling and asking questions, inquiring about what possibly transpired as a result. So, all of that stuff we covered last week. But this week, tonight, we are going to speak live with, again, media personality and also RGPF Assistant Superintendent. First, let's start with the man himself, Beast, Assistant Superintendent Beast at the RGPF. Raymond Mathew the Beast, how are you doing, my friend?
Well, I'm doing fine, Junior, and
absolutely.
Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. We're happy to have you. We're happy to have you here, Beast, and we appreciate your time and your professional experience to help us navigate and understand the case that we have here in front of us. All right? Also, guys, as I mentioned earlier, from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, he's a political and social commentator. Kenson King, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Really happy to be here again. And also one of the other hats that I didn't tell you that I also wear, but haven't worn in like 4 years and so forth because of, you know, suspension and, you know, the political issues between me and the government. I'm also a prison officer of 18 years.
Okay.
Yes, so I've been in this thing for a while.
Right, and you've been following this story, so
I've been doing so.
Right, good, absolutely. And in Jamaica right now, he is a political and social commentator. Choppa, you there? Nah, Choppa, look as if your video freeze. That was saying, Choppa can't. Choppa, your video stuck. So when you sort that out, we'll come back with you. Right? That was saying Choppa video had to be stuck. All right, guys. So let's talk about this. Starting with you, Raymond Mathew the Beast. I know there might be. Okay, I think Choppa is back. Choppa, you back?
I hope so. Am I?
Choppa, take out your background and just use your regular background, because I think that's probably contrasting.
Okay, all right, I got you.
Just
go ahead, I'll come right back.
Yeah, man, no problem. Beast, let's start with you, right? I know there might be things that you may not be able to tell us as it relates to this particular story, but just to contextualize what happened here in this particular case involving these 3 men that escaped from the South St. George police station. What could you tell us?
Well, I could only tell you based on the briefing that was given by the Commissioner of Police, that we had 3 guys there for other related crimes, and they escaped custody and fled to St. Vincent. They took this boat and hijacked this boat and with its owners and fled to St. Vincent. And we know the story. I understand they confess, or we saw things that would have indicated that they were murdered. I cannot say positively, but if they confess to that, we have to go by what they say. And only saw what happened in St. Vincent when they were caught. And we heard all sort of Nancy stories about good boys and stuff. I don't understand how you could be good boys when you're murdering people.
Right.
So this is where we are, and I cannot give you too much details as to, because the matter is under. Not much I could say concerning that, more than we might have to take the blame as a police force, but things do happen.
Right, right. Bis, a lot of questions are being asked, right? And a lot of fingers are pointing to how, or questions pertaining to how could this possibly happen, right? This 3 men was held for allegedly gang rape, all sorts of crazy robbery. I mean, high crimes. How is it that they were held in a particular location and it just so happened that these 3 men escaped at the same time?
Well, as I say, things do happen sometimes, and you could say, in this case, maybe it's a structural problem with the cells, something that we were not expecting, or something we didn't know of. I can't say the police knew of it and they didn't do anything about it, and I'll be wrong to say that. But sometimes there's structural, problems, even in our homes. Maybe when the rain start falling, you might realize you have a leak.
Right.
And by the time you realize that your flooring is already soaked up. So it has to be a structural problem there with the sellers, and those guys were clever enough. And criminals are clever, eh?
Well, I
Don't
don't
get
know
me
how
wrong.
clever they was, but I get you because
Well, they were clever enough to
okay,
escape,
okay,
right? Now, people, you might say, yes, the procedure is that the police check the cell every now and then, but maybe the time they got away wasn't the time the police
right,
checked. You don't have a police officer standing at the cell gate 24/7. He has his instructions to check the prisoners and make sure they are right and they're safe and stuff. And maybe by the time they check, that's the time they realize the guys escaped. So yes, if we have a structural problem with the cell, I mean, yes, it will fall back on the police as though we are negligent or we're not paying attention and so. But as I say, sometimes you the police may not see the
right,
problem.
right, right. No, another one, another one.
Remember, the prisoner won't come and tell you there's a gap in the door or there's a fault with the lock or anything, because he wants to escape.
Right, right. Bis, have there ever been anything of that sort or similar to that at that particular police station that might lead to negligence? Well, again, I want to open you up for any kind of pushback, but what I'm hearing is that there
Not
no what okay,
not
so
that
there
I
was
know
no
of.
known problems there
Not
at that.
no not I know of. As I said, prisoners, they do all sort of
Right,
things when they're in the cell. They do try everything
right,
to escape. They pick locks. In this case, I can't say they did that, but and they look for any gap they could get to
right.
try to escape. Sometimes it works. Sometimes they've been caught before they escape, or sometimes they escape.
Right, right. Okay. So I'm happy that Kenson King is here. And as he said, he not only a political and social commentator, he is a former prison guard, correct?
Still a prison officer.
Officer.
I've been on suspension since 2020 because of the political battle
Right,
between them and the prime minister and the government. So
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in a very, very good position. One, you're in St. Vincent, so you're very fully aware of the case that ended up in St. Vincent. Two, you are a prison officer, so you understand procedures and how procedures should be followed when securing prison officers. Now, from what you heard from Grenada, what went wrong from your perspective on that incident?
One of the things I thought about first, and the more I listen to this issue, and even as the brother just spoke there, I think one of the things is too many times there are persons who get too comfortable on the job.
Uh-huh.
Too many people forget that we are actually dealing with security, and security should be our business.
Uh-huh.
And one of the major things when it comes to security is observation. You
Right.
cannot ever lose that,
Right.
and being always alert. Now, I will tell you from my own experience, and persons who have walked along with me will tell you this. Once you are walking along with me, my brother, you have to always, as we say, be on your P's and your Q's. I don't ever trust, and I got this from the older set of persons that I would have met in the service. You don't ever trust anything. You don't leave anything to chance at all. Now, as I said, I think it was just a matter of officers feeling okay, we've already apprehended whomever, we've placed them in a cell, and you're so accustomed to doing this thing over and over that sometimes you don't pay attention to sometimes little minute details that are very important, minute but still very important details that you could miss, that could cause issues like this.
Right.
And I think that for me, that I think is the major problem, that they've gotten too comfortable. And then the other thing to Junior, compared to other jurisdictions, even us, Grenada is basically mild as far as I can see, crime-wise, right? So I think that too has given the police, the security forces, this false sense of security of, oh, nothing wouldn't happen, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I think that is the situation, and I think that this now happening might wake them up to the fact that, hello, this is your job, this is your forte, this is what you do. You have always got to be in that niche of yours. Always be prepared for whatever.
Right. Beast, what's your thoughts on Kenson's point of view, being a prison officer in St. Vincent?
Well, what he says, has some merit. It has a lot of merit, not has some merit, but a lot of merit. And I want to go back to the point where he made that what he learned from the older officers that he worked with. No, I'm a veteran. You may say I'm 38 years in the service. I would have learned it that you don't play with prisoners. You take nothing for granted. And I've seen some situations where I think police officers and prison officers play with their lives when it comes to securing prison officers.
You mean prisoners?
Prisoners, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, prisoners. Because these are people you don't take your eyes off. I see police officers walking in the street with prison officers, with prisoners. And in my case, this is a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to take things for granted. Now, he wouldn't run. Every prisoner wants to go home. He wants to escape. He wants to escape the law. So what the brother has just said there, it has a lot of merit. We take things too granted when it comes to security. You have to be on your P's and Q's.
Right.
And I guess I don't know the caliber of officers that were on duty, but I'm thinking it might be the younger guys and stuff, and they just, as your brother say, things mild, things quiet. We have them already, so
yeah.
let's just take things. I don't. Every prisoner that escaped is a source for disaster,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
crime. Because let me tell you something: prisoners want to go home. They want to be outside there. They want to be free.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to
Right.
go to
Right.
prison. So when you arrest these guys and you have them inside, as your brother say, you have to be checking. You have to be. But as I say again, maybe it's a structural problem at the station, and I don't want to speak for those guys. I don't want to speak against them either. Maybe they didn't see what that problem was, or where it would stem from, or where it would lead it.
Right. Right. Choppa, let me see if I could jump you in on this conversation here. Choppa, again, is in Jamaica. He is very versed and knowledgeable of these types of things happening and crime around the region. He pays a lot of attention to these things with a huge amount of statistic. Choppa, are you hearing this case involving three prisoners escaping from lawful custody? How does that sound comparing to what the narrative might be in like a place like Jamaica?
And good evening to your listeners as well. And thank you for having me, Junior. Um, it's not unique to Grenada, not unique to any other country in the Caribbean because Jamaica has its fair share of escapees. Just recently, we had, I think, 5 escaped from a Rockabessa police station in St. Mary.
Aha.
I believe most have been recaptured. We had another big break, about 8 escaped in Black River in another parish just a few months ago. So these are not unique situations to Grenada. We have our fair share here. One of the consistent thing though is that we usually get them back in custody. It takes a good minute. Sometimes it runs into a month, but we get them back into custody pretty easy. So it's not unique to Grenada. We have our fair share. It's how do we deal with it though, in terms of learning from the mistakes. What I found that was sort of unique with us is that those police stations that had those issues were some of the older police stations. As you know, the government in Jamaica had spent a lot of money recently on national security, and the
Right.
rebuilding of police stations was a big part of their thing for the last couple of years. I think they rebuilt and renovate over 134 police stations. Because I tell you, as the senior officer there said earlier, prisoners have nothing but time on their hand, and they're eager to go home. No matter how bad and mighty they are in the streets, when they're captured, they want to go home, and they're going to spend every waking moment, especially when they are guilty. If they're not guilty and they believe within themselves that they have a good case in court, then they might stick around. But if they know that they're guilty, they're going to use every waking moment to get out of there. So rest assured that doesn't matter what sort of security system you have in place, they have something on you, the prison officers and the police officers at the stations. They have one thing a little bit more than you, and that is time. They have time on their hand. They do nothing else except try to figure out how do I get out of here. And most prison officers and police officers, they are not spending every single moment to figure out how to keep you in here because they are relying on a system that already exists to keep you in there. So that's the disparity you have there. The prisoner is spending more time figuring out how to get out, while officers are relying on a system that has been developed to keep you in there. So
Right.
I don't find it strange when those systems get breached at some point, because if there's one thing about human being, they're gonna find a way to break through that system.
Yeah, yeah, interesting stuff. Guys, if you just started to watch, we're talking about this incident, this case, and we do have some major development that came out from St. Vincent and the Grenadines earlier today. We're going to give you that information shortly. Kenson, how much do you think does training plays into these type of incidents from happening? Training versus adequate and sufficient equipment. As B said, probably it was, you don't know the caliber of officers there. But is it significant that, is it significantly important that the officers get fully equipped, trained to deal with situations like that before they even start to watch prisoners?
Junior, training is everything.
Right.
Being equipped also falls right on par with training.
Right.
Because if you have the training but you don't have the equipment to enforce that training or to complement the training, we're wasting time. Let me make a few points here. One thing I know for sure is that worldwide, but more so I see it in the Caribbean, that our governments care nothing about prisons or police stations.
Uh-huh.
And I can tell you that from visiting some countries and right here at home in St. Vincent. These places come last, especially the prisons. They come last. And the problem is that the government, the public, everybody wants this major sense of security while investing little in the security infrastructure. And I can tell you this, I've been the grievance officer for the Public Services Union that represents prison officers and the public service here in St. Vincent. I've gone to permanent secretaries and so forth and outline what the issues of the prisons are, and literally being brushed off. I remember one time I went to permanent secretary Pompey at the time, and I said to him, the prison that you have just built in Belial, it's not adequately lit around the perimeter. And his question to me was, as a permanent secretary of security, his question to me was, what is it that we need perimeter lighting for?
I see.
This is the type of rubbish we have to deal with here in the Caribbean and here in St. Vincent. Now, one of the other things that the brothers spoke about was the caliber of officers. Now, I have this thing in me. I don't know if it's because of my makeup or what, but for me, you heading into, whether it's the army, prison, police, once you're heading into any of these security mechanisms, you have to be prepared for what comes with them.
Right.
Junior, every day you leave home, you're dead.
Right. I see.
I always, anybody walking along with me, I always tell them this. Every single day you leave your home to come to work, you're dead until you get back home. And you have to start acting that way. And you have to start acting in a way to make sure that you're secure. And by you being secure, you're keeping the public secure. Now, the issue is that, again, so many people try to hide behind, I'm young in this. No, once you get there, you learn everything you can and you implement again as though you're dead. Nobody is going to tell me, yes, and this is something that, again, even the senior men, Officer Olivier, SP Olivier, God bless his soul, he used to always tell us, he said, one, trust no inmate. That is number one. And number two, they have more time than you to sit and plan and to study.
Right.
Well, guess what? One of my philosophies that I've lived by, Junior, and that I brought to the job and everything is that I become my enemy. I become the prisoner. I start thinking like you. And that is how I've always been able to keep a step ahead of them. But another thing that's very important is to have a name, in a sense.
Right.
You develop a name where people know, hello, this, whether it's this team, whether it's the police or whoever, we don't mess with them.
Right.
So they know, boy, if we miss at anything or if we try anything, we know what can happen. I think one of the major problems we have in the Caribbean and the world is that all of a sudden, criminals are no longer criminals. All of a sudden, they're angels. This is one of the biggest problems we have in society, that everybody all of a sudden, and I think it comes from programming, from movies and all of these things, where crime is so glorified that people don't see crime and being a menace to society as something bad anymore. And I think it comes from a breakdown of morals and so forth in society, because now, when you as a prison officer, prison officer police, you tasked with protecting, solving, keeping the security of your country. But when you have to, we are not dealing with kindergarten people here. You're talking about dealing with somebody who will cold-bloodedly kill you. And we are seeing that now, where they're saying, you know what, possibly this American couple, they were killed.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is that they have the right away or the leeway to kill people and feel good about it. But when you have to take strong stances and actions, it's all of a sudden a problem. No, I don't, Junior, me and you good for how long? You know me by now. I don't care what people want to think about that. The thing is, sometimes you have to be tough. And you have to be tough when it comes to security. And sometimes, sadly, to have to say it, sometimes some people die. And sometimes to protect you and to protect the larger part of society, sometimes people have to die. It sounds cold, it sounds callous, but it's just fact. Because the thing is, your life is at risk. The moment you become a police or prison officer, your life is no longer yours. And you're no longer safe. Even your family, you're putting at risk.
Right.
So, what you're telling me, that somebody is going to be coming at me with guns and bullets and I'm going with a pillow?
Right. You know, interestingly enough, you said that, right? Because I remember a few years ago, there was an insurgent of some sort of, what I say was gang in Grenada. It really wasn't gang, like a couple fellas doing their thing. But Raymond Mathew led a squad of police officers in the RRU to change things around. Beast, how were you able to use force or whatever you were able to use to divert that whole insurgent of gangs that was coming up in Grenada at that time?
Well, to tell you the truth, we had to, as the brother just mentioned, we first of all, we had to be dedicated. We spent a lot of hours patrolling, carrying out searches and stuff. As a matter of fact, I'll be real. We had to even become a gang also. And we had to use, tactics that was, to you, out there, it will seem as though we were ruthless and stuff, but we had to use some stringent tactics to get these guys under control because they were very ruthless. And we had a country to protect. We had citizens to protect. Could you imagine those guys were storming weddings? You go and get married and those guys storming your wedding. They're disrupting your wedding because it's a gang. And, there were weddings we had to go into. We were not invited, but we had to go into the weddings. Guys was getting married and asking us to come in the wedding to protect their weddings. So we had to be tough.
Yeah.
Some guys got jailed, some guys got killed, some guys left the country, but we had to do what we had to do.
Wow.
And to be truthful, I'm longing for those days to come.
Well, we go certainly talk about that. Choppa, you're fully aware of the treatment and how police officers in Jamaica operate. Oftentimes, people say that the police officers in Jamaica is too rough. The soldiers are. I even saw some video that was circulating that the police force had to put out a press release on it. Is it necessary that force be combined with security to keep people in check? And how well is it working for Jamaica?
Interesting, very interesting conversation there, Junior. Jamaica is very unique where that is concerned. And I have a different perspective as well, because Jamaica has been noted for many years, from the 70s, to implement what the officer just spoke about a while ago, in having a special squad or a special force to deal with crime. Because as you know, we've had a consistent crime problem for the last 35, 40 years. Huh? However, what I realized that just never worked for us, and listen to this carefully, is that every year since 1972, we have put together a squad led by a senior, one or two senior officers, and to deal with specific flare-up of crime, sometimes in the corporate area and sometimes in the country area. But when we do the math at the end of it, none of those has ever worked. So it never worked. It has never really yielded the result. What you'll get a shock and awe at the inception. When it first come into being, you'll get this shock and awe. But at the end of the day, when you count the numbers, you really don't enjoy any serious reduction in murder. Take, for example, in 1980,
All right, we lost.
murder rate in Jamaica.
All right, you're back. Yeah, go ahead, Choppa.
It seemed like I was frozen there a while ago, Junior. Am I on now?
Yeah, you're on. Are you hearing me?
Am I back?
Are you hearing me? Okay,
I had a
thank you.
phone call just coming and
All right, Choppa, go back out and come back in. Go back out.
Am I back in?
Yes, go back out and come back in. All right, guys, so we're having this regional conversation about dealing with crime. Very interestingly.
Sorry about that, Junior. I had a phone call there just now.
Choppa, you hear me? Choppa, go back out and come back in. Go back out.
Sorry about that, Junior.
Go back out and come back in.
Am I back in now?
No, go back out and come back in. Yeah, he's not hearing me. Let me remove him and then he'll come back in. Very interesting, these two perspectives, guys, right? This is very interesting because what Choppa is saying, let me see if I can get him back in. Choppa, you there?
Yeah, man, I'm back. Thank you, Junior. Just got a phone call there.
If that happen again, just go back out and come back in. It will
Okay,
solve.
good. Yeah.
Right,
So I was saying to you that we've had that history of putting together different squads.
Right.
But they have never worked. Because at the end of the day, we count the numbers and you have never seen any significant result. And I was saying to you that back in start from 1980, we had, I think our murder rate in Jamaica was probably 864, right?
Right.
And by 1989, we were down to about 439. So between 1989 and 2007, we went back up into the 1500. Why I'm telling you about this period is because this is one of the periods that we've always had a special force to deal with it, to suppress crime. But the result was always going up. Now, one of the biggest crime in Jamaica over those periods was the cry for justice, the cry for social intervention. Now, within the last couple of years, we saw a couple of initiatives that came in.
Right.
We saw the use of a public state of emergency,
Yes.
coupled with what is called a zone of special operations. So those two initiatives, one is really designed to suppress, to stop, to really bring out a lot of the police and soldiers and to really stop the bleeding. And then the zone of special operation is where they're going to go in and cordon off a particular area. But that comes with significant social programs.
Right.
Where you take over a community that was plagued with crime and you try to bring about all the necessary infrastructure changes. For example, those communities did not have proper running water. They didn't have proper drain. They didn't have proper fencing, like zinc fence removal. They didn't have proper housing, community centers, training, identification, street names, all that intervention, sports complex, all that stuff came in. So what we found is that when you bring social intervention into these communities, that was the only time we actually saw some reduction in murder and in violent crime. And this year, coming out of 2023, at the end of 2023, was the first time in a long time
Right.
we saw a 7.8% reduction. Now, that is nothing to call home about,
Right.
but that equals to about 160 odd less persons killed. So whatever reduction it is, you have to celebrate it. So I'm not saying this to say to you that, it's I've heard the concept of forces before, but the truth is, for us as Caribbean countries, one of the things that we have to focus on, any initiative to reduce crime and violence in our community must come with a high level of social intervention, social program that will
Right.
sort of give you a long-term effect.
Interesting stuff. So, so we have a difference, a contrast of approach here. Choppa in Jamaica is saying that approach of force didn't and is not working so well, but it worked kind of in your time there as trying to avert the gang violence that was kind of spurring up at that point in time. So, what's different what's the contrast be? So, what was the problem that it didn't work in Jamaica, but it happened to work in Grenada with you?
Well, although we are one Caribbean, but we're different nations, right? We have different backgrounds and stuff. And I think that one of the things is that we didn't let the gangs get too far.
Right.
During my time, they were trying to gain acceptance. They were already doing stupidness, and in the meantime, they was getting into criminal activities. But we warned them, and we didn't let them get that far. I mean, gangs they started to have this war for tough to defend, and let me remind you, the drugs was involved, right? Because these young guys, they were not working, and the whole social, there was social unrest, right? And guys was looking to make money how they could make it by selling the drugs. So they were looking for toughs all over the country. Grenada had the gang. There was a gang in Grenville. There was one in St. David's, and everybody was using the cutlass, machete, as we call them, to defend themselves. Strangely, they didn't reach the part of we didn't have so much at the time.
Right.
We start seeing an influx of guns in certain areas now, and the police is working hard on that. So I think it's different in Jamaica, where the social part of it, and to be honest, we need social intervention here also.
Right.
But are the persons in that ministry trained to do that? So, as you rightly said, training is needed. The right equipment, vehicles, everything is needed. I mean, the Ministry of National Security over the years have not been doing much. And I want to go back to the point where the brother made about the stations a while ago. And it was really good to hear the amount of stations that was renovated and fixed up to a high standard. We don't have that in Grenada. It's the same old stations.
Right. Right.
And we need to look at, and it's not just telling a man come and build a police station for us. The police should play a part in how they want the station to be. The commissioner of police should be, should have a say.
Right.
A man shouldn't just come and build a station and say, well, he built a station, and then when we go in the station, we realize we're lacking for cells or the type of cells and stuff, you know.
Right.
And then I don't know if you know, we have some young police officers. According to the talk, they're baby face still. And as the brother rightly said, when you come into this job, it's a different job. Once you get into law enforcement, you're going to have enemies. You will have enemies with the bus drivers and conductors, with criminals, with rapists, with all sort of criminals. Because they want to commit offenses and commit crime, and they don't want to be stopped or they want to be spotted. They don't want to be brought to justice.
Right.
So once you enter this job, you have to tell yourself, listen, my lifestyle changed. You can't go and eat and drink anyway by the road again as you used to do when you was out there.
You know what?
They
You
go
know what
poison
target?
you.
Yeah. You know what target?
You understand?
Yeah.
You have to know where you're eating, you have to know where you're drinking, you have to know where you're falling asleep.
Yeah.
You can't go in any party and stuff.
Yeah.
Stay home or stay in the station.
Yeah.
Your life changed completely.
Yeah.
And there are times you have to make tough decisions. It would not be popular, you would not be liked, but you have to do it.
Right. As the job entails.
For your country, for your job, for yourself, for your family.
Right. Kenson, I want to get your point of view on it, right? Because Jamaica share a different perspective from what you deem as law enforcement or enforcement. That rough and rugged. What's your thoughts on Choppa's position?
I can vibe with both views, Junior. I agree you need social intervention. But along with the social intervention, there must be active, hardline security actions.
Right.
Now, let me say this. One of the biggest problems we have, I think, throughout the entire region are politicians.
Right.
Let me say that again.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems we have when it comes to security are our politicians. Because they want to please everybody. Because they want to get back there. They don't want to do what is necessary to get results.
Right.
And so they undermine the very backbone of our security system. The persons charged with keeping our society safe are now undermined by the political aspirations of the politicians. So sometimes to put the requisite laws and so forth in place, they don't. And so now sometimes for you to be able to carry out your job within the confines of the legislations that are in place, it's hard. And they will quickly throw you under the bus to protect their back, while wanting to use you the same way to protect their front. And that is a major problem that I have. You see what I'm saying? So now, here you have the security apparatus, people like Choppa and Beast, who have been there for however long, know the ins and out of the security and what you need for your system. But you'll have a politician somewhere who he believes that if he's too tough, he will not get a vote down in that constituency or up in that village.
Right.
And so for his aspirations, he will allow the society to burn when he could have nipped it in the bud. Again, I'm all for the social aspect of it. It's needed. And it has its place. But when it comes down to it, sometimes you have to let people know. As B said just now, when you had the gang coming out, you went at them quickly. You nipped it in the bud. Because you have to let them know, oi, you see, when they come in here, you're going to meet up on a big stone wall here. And we're not going to allow this. Let me give you a little bit of history. St. Vincent had one of the longest running prison riots in the Caribbean. 1999 to 2001. Right? And in all of the things that were going on, when the politicians were pussyfooting around the issues and what was supposed to be done, you know what ended up happening? When Eric Rodriguez, who became superintendent of the prison, came, he came with a whole different outlook and a mindset that you, the politician, you're not going to dictate how I do my job. There are laws and rules surrounding what I can do.
Right.
And I'm going to do it. You know what ended up happening and stopped that riot? Officers were being stabbed. Officers were being knocked out. Men were escaping the prison, doing as they like. The most contraband was happening in the place. The prisoners ran the prison.
Wow.
You know how that pulled back? By somebody getting shot dead right there in the yard.
One of the prisoners.
Yes. That ended that 2-year streak of a riot like this. Because they realized, hey, the possibility of death is here. You don't have to kill. Note. And I'm saying, walk within the confines of the legislation that you have. Follow the rules, follow the law. Keep everybody's rights intact, respect everybody's rights, but also do your job and do what's necessary to get the job done. There's a thing called your policy that you will have within your life and so forth.
Right.
You must have policies that you are dictated by. Therefore, when you come to a situation, you know, I'm going to uphold the law, but I am also going to do what is necessary to protect the wider society. Again, I'll give you another example. When I was at work, I was the person who was in charge of the confinement area. And me along with a team of 5 other officers that I personally chose to come onto that team because the superintendent gave me that leeway. We were able to have the prison so quiet because nobody wanted to come to that confinement block. Yeah?
Right.
Some of the hardest criminals that police are scared of, some prison officers are scared of. They will tell you plain up. They used to call up the hell. They used to call me the devil and call the rest of them the demons. You couldn't come up there. They were afraid to come up there.
Right.
And so you had a reduction in contraband. You had a reduction in bad behavior and disrespect. First and foremost, you have to always let people know what you stand for. When I just started in the prison service, an officer, well, he's now an SPO, Clark, he said to me, you did not come here to be liked. You came here to do a job. And it is better to be disliked and respected than liked and disrespected. That has always been my mantra from that day.
Right.
And I've maintained that. Now, there have been numerous escapees from Grenada up here that I've dealt with. And I guarantee you, each of them will tell you they don't want to come back. I can guarantee you that.
Right. Right.
And I could give you a couple names. You know, you had people like Sheldon Bain, Plank, Lexus, all of these guys, when they escaped and came up here, ask them if they want to come back. They don't want to come back.
Well, we saw the video that was released there. But before I go into that video and the treatment that was given to the 3 guys that end up in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, how important, Choppa, we'll start with you, because I heard your Prime Minister said one time that the laws now is going to change so much so that it's so severe in terms of the charges for someone having illegal firearm. How is that impacting the mindset of the criminals in Jamaica?
I'm not sure if it's measurable yet, but I'm certain that it's going to have a severe impact. I mean, you're looking at 40 years, and I think they have now moved up to 50 years for murder and 40 years for illegal possession of a firearm.
50, hold on,
That's one
50
of the
years,
things.
50 years for murder, right?
Yes, that's what they're looking at for the new legislation. I
Okay.
think it's now at 40, and they're trying to move that up to 50, and then move the firearm up from 30 up to 40.
Okay.
But tougher penalties is a part of the reform that Jamaica is going through. And I just want to go back quickly to what Beast had said. One important thing, we were able to rebuild and renovate over 130 police stations. Matter of fact, the government spent some 50 billion Jamaican dollars on national security. Because the truth is, you cannot ask a police officer to fight crime living in a deplorable condition and working in a deplorable condition. So I think they made an effort, an extra effort, to ensure that those police stations are retrofitted. And as B said, the police had a very, very integral role in how these stations were retrofitted and how they were built. So tougher penalties, better working conditions, lots of equipment coming in. I'm talking about they had an expo last year. And when you look at the sort of technology that is being deployed, you will understand. What I think is happening in Jamaica is that you will not get the shock and awe that you usually get from a special squad. What you're going to get, I believe, and I'm hoping, is a consistent reduction over a protracted period of time that will yield long-term results, as opposed to just a shock and awe and you go back up. So I believe we're at 7.8% from 2022 to 2023.
Right.
And I think right now, year to date, if you look at what the murder rate was in 2023 between January and March, we are down now probably about 25-30%.
Right.
That is significant. However, I don't believe that is anything for you to celebrate. It's only 3 months in the year. That can change just by a flare up in 2 months. Right. But the objective is to hold that right through. So a whole myriad of different approach must be taken. And I will not discount what my brother said earlier about tough policing, because make no mistake about it, while the government might be taking a little subtle approach with social intervention at the forefront, the citizens are actually calling for tougher policing. They want to see tough policing. The citizens are not ones who really look at the numbers at the end of this. What they want to see is these guys being treated the way they treat people, right? They want to see tough policing out there, getting these guys, going at them just the same as they go at people. The government is saying, look, we have to do tough policing, but we have to respect the rights of people, and we have to take a different approach, because tough policing, really and truly, it has never really yielded that consistent reduction that we want. We see that up 7.8% just now, and we are hoping that with putting more into the police, they just paid increased police salary last year.
By how much
It's not
how much percent?
Yes.
By how much percent?
I think I'm unable to give you an accurate number on the percent for increase, but they got, I think rank and file officers would have got the lower. Of course, at the lower end, normally the lower persons get the lower amount, but the increase for assistant commissioners, deputy commissioners, superintendent, higher rank officers, they got a pretty decent increase. And I think there's more to come, because it was over a 3-year period, retro from back in 2022 coming up to 2024. So there's also an increase coming in this year. But if you pay your police right, I think that's one of the things that we have to look at.
Yeah.
If you want to reduce corruption and you want to improve performance, pay them. Pay them. The police is one of the group of persons in your society that you're asking to keep you safe.
Yes.
to keep the society safe. And we have to look at our books and our budget and make sure that police is paid properly. The condition under which they live and work must be conducive. Eh?
Absolutely, absolutely. Guys, you're watching Right Along Live, and we're having this very, very important discussion here from a regional perspective on fighting crime. We're seeing an influx, a flare-up of violent crime involving firearm. In Grenada, we've seen it in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Just a few months ago, there was a bloody, I believe it was a Saturday, where a number of people died. The guns is right now a pandemic. Illegal firearms in the region is now a pandemic. We saw a situation in St. Lucia in Vieux Fort where the regional security service had to go in, have an intervention in there to curb the crime that was happening in that particular part of the country. So it is a pandemic, and it seems like no small island state is being spared from this pandemic. We got a caller on the line right now. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, live, where are you calling us from?
I'm calling you from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Go right ahead, caller.
I find Choppa. How come Choppa get called on big important topic and you leave out John? But anyway, listen. Part of the problem that we have, and nobody wants to address it, is the examples that are set by the senior officers of the police department.
Right.
When you have senior officers breaking the law, knowingly, and the rank and file officers are seeing the senior officers get a slap on the wrist for having a civilian confiscating their weapon, and that senior officer get a slap on the wrist, and that senior officer gets promoted, even, put up on a higher pedestal. How does that factor into the junior officer? How do you think that junior officer going to feel? Well, if he could get away with it, why am I busting my ass? Excuse me, I forget. And why am I busting my tail to law enforce when the senior officers could get away with murder?
Right.
Okay. And until we start, like one of your guests talk about the politicians trying to make everybody happy. Okay. Yes, the politicians want vote, but the respect that they lose in making sure they get votes is what they're not paying attention to. Because right now, in Grenada, right? Mm-hmm. Bro, I on the internet daily monitoring this story, this escapee story is on every wire service, every media service all over the world. In China, I can't read Chinese, but I hit the translation button. And in Chinese, in Japanese, every which way you turn, the story is in there. And our politicians, again, because we're trying to be nice, we're quiet.
Right.
How the rank and file is watching this. The criminal is also watching how we handle. It's one thing to have a problem, but the real problem is how you choose to handle such a problem. And if you choose to sit back, and I'm glad to hear Choppa talk about the retrofitting of police stations. When you look at our police stations, like for instance, Brush Grove, right? Uh-huh. Brush Grove Police Station is a rental house. It's somebody's house they're renting because of Ivan destruction of the police station. And that police station, as far as I know, there are no plans on the books right now to rebuild Brush Grove Police Station. But they're renting a house. They're renting a house
right.
to house the police station. I mean, how does that make sense? How
right.
could that make sense? Administration go, administration come, and we're still renting a house to hold one of our quote-unquote security office.
Right.
That making any sense? Okay, and I mean, no, you have to put the resources in place.
Right.
This is on the line. This is on this call. When he was here the last time, ask him. I gave him a box of items to bring home to hand over to the chief of police.
Right.
Because I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, but you also have to act. I don't believe in just talking. I just put my money where my mouth is.
Right.
And
Action.
we have to put resources in place. The police officer going out in the night, they don't have the right kind of tools and equipment.
Right.
I don't know. Do they have night goggles that they could see at night? No, I don't think so.
Right.
Like they could, night goggles where you could see and recognize certain things, infrared light and those kind of things like that. We have to put the resources in place,
Right.
so that our department, our police officers, when they're out there, they feel protected. They're in the station house,
Right.
and the station house the station house bathroom is worse than the bathroom in the market, because you don't have somebody who maintaining it and make it clean and make it, so how you gonna get good performance when an officer and the criminal using the same bathroom?
Right. Point taken there, Crow. We appreciate your input on it. A lot to discuss and to take away from your observation here. Crow, on the next call, on the next program, we want your presence, because you definitely have a lot to say on the topic. All right? We'll keep in touch. Thanks again.
Choppa.
All right.
Choppa.
All right, cool. Earlier you mentioned about the situation that was escalating in Grenada with the gangs, right? Back then, when they were using cutlass and the guys and them doing their thing, the Ginger Crew and you name it. You were able, the team were able to suppress that. How did we get here, where we have this influx of guns, firearms all over the place, and a whole heap of gangs, as they say, is just emerge again? How did we get here?
Well, as the brother, I can't remember his name, the one from St. Vincent said that,
Kenson.
I think, as Kenson said, I think we tend to ease up a bit. Different prime ministers, different commissioner of police, everybody come in a different mindset. And we tend to ease up on society. Yes, there are times you have to, but you have to keep at it. Because criminals evolve, they come around every time, ever so often. And I can remember we had a commissioner of police that eased up on the squad, and maybe he felt it was too tough, so he changed it up a bit. And then what we used to do, you don't get that. So those guys see the opportunity, as I say, criminals, they have time.
Right.
They see the opportunity to show their ugly heads again.
I see.
And we have to keep at it. We have to step back there and keep them, suppress them, and keep them back, send them back in their hole.
Right. So you're saying the reason why we got to that point is because you guys took your foot off the gas a bit.
We took our foot off the gas, man.
Mm-hmm.
You can't take your foot off the gas with criminals.
That is true.
Right.
Can't take your foot off.
Yeah.
Because they as the brother rightly said, they always have the time, the thinking, and their job is to commit crimes, commit offense. My job is to stop it.
Right. Yeah.
And if I can't stop it, I have to protect the citizens, the law-abiding citizens, so that they would not be in danger.
Right.
And mind you, Junior, I'm going to do that with full force.
Well, yeah, I already heard a call, even on the live here. You have people that are saying they want beasts back there because, things can be going this bad and continue to go this bad. There have to be some kind of shake-up. So people on the live are saying that they totally agree you should get back inside and try to maneuver again. Is it a little too late, or is there the right opportunity, or has that opportunity already passed us?
No, I don't think it's too late. I just think we have to go in. We have to go in with the full force. There's going to be casualties, but we have to prepare for it. As the brother just said, if it means that some people have to die for others to live, so be it.
Wow. I hope mothers and fathers and parents are listening to this thing here, because this is getting...
And this is the problem we have with parents. Now you're hearing that the boy was a good boy, he was a nice boy, right?
Yep, popular argument that,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's alleged that 2 tourists lost their life.
Everybody's nice to their own.
Everybody's nice today. We saw a little footage of what happened in St. Vincent with the police officer showing the guy in the vehicle, but we don't know why he did that. We don't know the stress he went through.
Right.
To get that, and the thing about it, the guys are prisoners, escaped prisoners. So as the brother say, I don't know if they want us to go, or they want the police to go and capture them with a pillow and hug them and kiss them to put them in a vehicle. No, man.
Hold on, please. We have a caller on the line. Let's take this call. Caller, where are you calling us from?
Calling from Grenada, and good night.
Grenada, go right ahead.
And I want to agree with Bis. They really try when this gang was raising their head in Grenada. Up to now, you will hear young men, they out of the gang, but they still will talk about Bis. They address it. I ain't saying Bis could come back, but perhaps he could pass on what he know with those.
Nah, Bis ready to come back, you know. Bis ready to come back, you know. Look at me.
Well, he could come back. But they try. When he was there, he really tried and get these fellas under control. And the next point with the guy from St. Vincent, where he speak about the station and the prison. We prison here was designed, I think, for 250 prisoners. And years, prisoners just going. They had over 400. I don't know how much you have in now.
Yeah.
So I tried a lot in repairing this place and make it better than how it was. I remember I used to go and visit a pig farm in Mount Hartman.
Right.
And the pig, where they bring us around the pen, they show us where the pig want to deliver. This room is clean and nice. Where the pig sleeping, the pig dry, and he have a place to eat, and the pen is just like real nice. But our prison, where they had the garbage right in front as you enter the prison, garbage, this is the place I see the most fly. Right as you enter the prison, going in again, they have the pig farm and everything. It wasn't designed to keep prisoners and to keep animal. Like, everybody like his animal.
Right.
So they need to look at the place, and not because it's prisoners, but have it livable. Perhaps he might change their mind. Because when you have them in a place, you think they thinking them is animal too. So they need to range up this place and make it better than how we are.
Some might say,
because you can't tell me.
Some might say they already have the best view in Tongue. They already had the best view in that hotel in Tongue.
For the view is all right for the view, no problem. But for the living condition is terrible. Just imagine you have 4 men in a cell. One have a belly one night. And this other 3 have to sleep in this cell with this feces in a bucket for the whole night,
But how about when they come out and they go back into regular society, they would tell the would-be criminal, yo, you don't want to go there, They're bad and it stink and it's smelly and it this and it that, and that possibly could deter the next person from going up there. Right?
Junior,
So
Junior, I feel the prison have them thinking of past. If they have it nicer, they might, when they come out, they might don't want to go back, you know.
Well, you
So
have to-
let me
you have to
change
be.
it around
All
because
right.
you have it in that state and they go in and they come in. So let me change it and make it better.
Maybe you never know. But thank you, caller. We
Bye-bye.
appreciate your input on it. Kenson, let's talk about this incident there where this young man ended up. The three young men ended up in the prison in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah, and the treatment that they got. We all saw the video. First, tell us about the protocol. And again, we're not saying the whole population is not saying that they were treated terribly. People actually said, well, yo, them guys are leave, they break out of prison, they're known for doing all this thing in Grenada, they jump a yacht, they allegedly kill somebody, ended up in St. Vincent. Where they going there for? Is that a regular procedure of how St. Vincent and the Grenadines police officers would treat anyone that comes in to there as a would-be deterrent to them?
No, let me say that was baby treatment that he got. He actually got shot in the leg. And he actually got put into a vehicle. Now, my brother, some may hate me for saying this or whatever, but in the days of this special unit I was in and so forth, that trust me, that is chicken feed.
Wow.
Because I'll tell you this, Junior. Legislation along with action, for me, helps with deterrence. And again, we have gotten to a place where too much of society is now accepting and defending crime and criminals.
Mm-hmm.
A point was made just now about who think that, the family will say, oh, he's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy to you, he's yours. And they say everybody will take care of their monkey. So the thing is that you have your monkey. You will say your monkey is good. Your monkey will treat you good. Because a lot of these very parents, I'm coming right back to what you just asked me, Junior.
Mm-hmm.
But it's important that I go this route because the little treatment that was meted out there, I listened to, I think it was a sister on your program.
Mm-hmm.
And so forth. And oh, he's a good boy. But yes, he's a good boy. But now we have two people who are possibly at the bottom of the ocean. What about their family? Let me tell you what I believe, Junior. It's not going to be a popular belief, but this is what I believe. A constitution and all of these things are put in place to protect the rights of citizens. There are exceptions to your rights. You commit crime and so forth, your rights are taken away, your rights to freedom and all of these things are taken away. For me, you decide to become a criminal. You decide to go against the legislation and the deterring factors that are put in place by society. You decide to go against them. You decide that the constitution that protects you and protect others, their rights, you are not going to follow it. You are going to go against it, kick against it, and take people's rights. So why should I respect yours? As I said, I'm not here to be popular. I just see it as I speak as I see it. The fact that you think you can take somebody's life, take somebody's bread, make it uncomfortable for someone to survive and live in society. I'm not going to come and kid glove you in no way. As long as you are found guilty. And I think society has gotten to a place again where we are defending so much of these things that the lines have become blurred. Where rights and abuse are so, the lines have become so blurred that people don't even realize that they're actually supporting the very thing that if it shows up on their doorstep, they're going to want somebody to do something about it.
Right.
Let me say, everybody will want to say, oh, you're being harsh, you're this. No. There's a time for everything, as the Bible says. And even the Bible says a time to kill and a time to live. A time to be hard, a time to be soft. If society, the governments, and everybody, they come in softly to you with all of these social things, and they're not working. What next? So every time you kill somebody, you steal, you rob, you have the poor shopkeeper down the road who's trying to survive off of his business. Every time you make $100, you go and you take it because it's yours, you know? We're supposed to come and rub your head and say, oh, don't do it again. You're a good boy. So what about the shopkeeper? And I say all of that to say, Junior, what I saw happen here, the fact that they absconded, first and foremost, you don't break the law by whatever crime they say that you did. I'm not saying, I don't know if they were found guilty before. You broke the law by running away from out of custody. Okay. You go onto somebody's private yacht. And whatever it is that you did to them, nobody knows as yet, because what? I guess everybody's holding the belly, as we say. So you can't say as yet what has happened and to these people. Chances are they're dead. So you choose to kill to get away. The fact that you can go to those lengths, you're guilty of whatever they said that you did, that you were arrested for. Because you were willing to take a life, to take lives, to escape facing, even having your day in court. You could have been proven that your lawyers could have fought and found that you were innocent. But you choose to go the different route and take lives, not a life. Even though one is still bad, but you took lives. And then you come to a country, what do you think what did they come here to do? Go to the government to say, okay, we're here, please give us a job and become upstanding citizens. Do I look stupid? They were going to continue in the very vein that they left and continued to get to St. Vincent. And somebody still believe that I should get a feather duster and go and fan them? For me, they're lucky. They were treated well. Too well.
Interesting stuff. Something about what you just said just gave me the chills, because I want would-be criminals to understand, and it's more evident now with what you said, your articulation on this topic, that if and when anything goes down, you don't want to end up in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Bad mistake, wrong choice. But we have something similar in Haiti and Jamaica, because of proximity we have. I mean, what Haiti is going through, it is sad, right? Haiti, some people might see Haiti as somewhat of a failed state. But what happening there, because of the proximity, is affecting what's happening in Jamaica, Choppa.
Yep. Yeah, because, and very good point there, Kez. And Beast, boy, I hear the people calling back for you. You need to get back in active service. Little heavy lifting is required. But Haiti, being just a few miles north of us, and with what's happening there, it's having a serious impact, not just on Jamaica, but other Caribbean islands, because guns, the influx of guns coming in from Haiti is alarming. And you know, Jamaica is 144 square miles, and we have a huge border. And to patrol that border is massive. So ever so often, you'll find boats sneaking in with arms. And because of what the instability in Haiti and the access to so much guns is hitting our shores. And we are seeing a definite connection between the influx of guns coming in from Haiti and the crime in our country. Mathew, even individuals, I was told, from Haiti, they just broke into a prison in Haiti a few hours ago, probably 72 hours ago, and they unleash on the society the entire prison population. And I gather that prison was a maximum security prison that held some hardened criminals. So they're back in the streets in Haiti. There's not much to do there in terms of survival. So they're going to be on a boat very soon. And probably the closest port for them is here. No. Jamaica has been sending them back on a regular basis. They pop up today, they send them back tomorrow. And a lot of, there's a big discussion here as well because most people, there's an advocacy group who is lobbying for them to stay in Jamaica. But the truth is, those folks, Jamaica was never their destination in the first place. They wanted to go to the United States. But sometimes it's just a matter of a wrong turn that they end up in Jamaica. But like Kez says, I hope they're not ending up in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's not going to be a good stop for them. So, it makes sense for them to stay put. But folks, sometimes, we neglect what happens in another Caribbean country, thinking that it has no effect on us. And our neighbor to the north there, Haiti, to the east. Haiti, the problem that is affecting Haiti is huge. And make no mistake about it, folks. It's having an impact on other Caribbean islands.
Yes.
In Turks and Caicos, there's a huge Haitian community there. Though they might not be as violent as they are in other places, but the instability in Haiti is contributing negatively to a lot of places. So what do we do? I mean, do we know, as promised as leaders, they have to get in there and fix that problem. I don't know what sort of impact Haiti is having on Grenada, but I'll tell you, as it relates to guns, it's having a serious impact on Jamaica.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it. Beast, I don't know if you have any stats on that. We definitely know that the guns are here. We're hearing continuous report of police officers of the police force reporting that they've confiscated a number of firearms, illegal firearms with ammunition. We understand that the drug and the transatlantic shipment of guns and drugs from the U.S. and this we are in that belt, right, Beast? Do you think that Haiti and these other countries are playing a role in getting those guns through Grenada and the guns back up to the U.S.? What's the shipment course?
Well, I cannot say for a fact that Haiti has any influence on us in Grenada. I know the guns they're coming in from the United States.
Yes.
But I want to say something also is that our ports, our main port, I think they need to do some more work there. We have to have, as the brother said a while ago, we have to have the right equipment.
Right.
Now, when you send a barrel from the United States, the custom officer tell you, just take out something at the top.
Yeah.
You take out a tutina corned beef. You take out a box of Quicks or what, a box of Nessus milk, a case of something,
Right.
and then you put it back, and then you charge your money and you go with it.
Sure.
But in the bottom, you have your guns. And you have 100 persons coming to collect barrels, especially around Christmas. It could be more than that. And there are 3 custom officers. How that could work?
Problems.
How serious could we be?
Problems.
Put people on the port. And this is what I want to say to the Prime Minister. Let's put people on the port, whether it's police, whether it's SSU, whether it's the RRU, and let empty all the barrels and get this thing from the bottom, from the root.
Manpower will be an issue, though. Manpower will be an issue, though.
Manpower? Man, we are manpower, man.
Okay.
Law enforcement is law enforcement. Law enforcement, I was trained in El Salvador. Law enforcement in El Salvador is the magistrates, the judges, the police, the customs, security, even ordinary security guards. They are part of national security. Here in Grenada, the police have to do most of the work. The judge or the magistrate, they in a different league. Right?
You're right.
And also our laws, we have to come on. We have to step up. I mean, I heard the brother said that in Jamaica you get 50 years and 40 years and stuff for murder and for guns and stuff. I really want to see that here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna get 5 years or 8 years here. I don't know who we sorrying for. Why we sorrying for people? Why we playing with people? So a man could brandish a gun and in 5 years' time, he back outside
Yeah.
with a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Let's get serious. Our magistrates and our judges have to get serious. Let's jail some people, no man.
Yeah. And Kenson said it earlier, sometimes when you make someone an example, then the people kind of wake up because
Of
it's
course.
serious. You know what I mean? It's serious. Kenson, we're running little short on time because we are over that time frame already. But I want to understand the dynamics of guns in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Because we did have a situation months ago where 5 or 6 people died. It was like Kuwait. It was Iraq and Iran.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, I again stand with the two brothers. And let me just strengthen what Beast has been saying. But let me go first with Choppa. The issue is, well, for Jamaica, it will be Haiti and so forth. For us, it's Trinidad, Venezuela, and that kind of thing. No, guns are not manufactured anywhere here that I know of.
True.
Again, another opinion that may go against the grain. You see the politicians that we have, plenty of them involved in that said lifestyle and supporting the lifestyle. That is why sometimes the legislation needed and the manpower needed, as B said just now, it is not put in place. Let us not run from it, Let me tell you something. You see right here in St. Vincent, a port worker searched a TV and found, I can't remember if it was millions in cash. What do you think happened to her? She was transferred from the port. Another issue happened at the then Joshua Airport. The barrels were found with money. What happened to the officer who found it? And what happened to the barrels? Here, politicians' names are called who are in league with criminals and criminal behavior. Even murder. You hear me? And I agree again with Choppa and Beast. Let us have the 50. For me, you get caught with a gun, lifetime. Automatic lifetime. You want what you want to bet from the time people out here see 5, 6 people get lifetime for guns. No parole. How much you want to bet? Nobody wants to be caught with a gun. Again, the legislation's needed. And the legislation need to be strengthened. We're seeing it every day. My brother, we had 55 murders here in St. Vincent, a record.
Already for the year?
No, for last year.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's a record.
Wow.
And under this present government that we had, every single year by year, we've had record being broken for murders. And most of it gun crimes. And when you call, you know what instead they do? They try to use the police force instead. When you call on crimes and so forth, it's always, we have no transport. Or this or that. But when it comes to them using the police force as a political arm to go after their political perceived enemies, using the legislature and the entire judiciary to do their nastiness, it's empowered. You need the police, the prisons, the legislature, and the judiciary to work in tandem to have our societies protected. If that doesn't happen, Again, we have seen where this issue that Junior is talking about, almost daily, there was somebody dying here. St. Vincent is a country of maybe 105,000 people. And you having this type of gun crime here, we don't produce we don't even have a factory in St. Vincent, but we have guns. We have so much guns popping up all over the place. And let me say this to you, Junior. A lot of this happening here is because of who is in government. Let me show you something. We don't produce cocaine here. But ever so often, you will hear about a cocaine bust somewhere up in Europe or something, and St. Vincent name has to call. And then you're seeing persons with Vincentian passport who can't speak a lick of English or even point you in the direction of St. Vincent, but they have St. Vincent passport. And you're hearing about Vincentians who have never set foot on Vincentian soil when these busts happen. St. Vincent has been termed a transshipment point for guns and drugs in the Caribbean, especially between Venezuela to America. Why aren't we looking into these things? When we'll hear about millions spent on party here, having this thing here for political gain, why not spend some of the millions boosting up our Coast Guard? Because St. Vincent and the Grenadines have one of the biggest maritime boundaries in the Caribbean. We know that we have holes. When you could be hearing of allegations of planes coming here when airport don't close, and when they come for you don't know, transponder turn off, all this kind of nonsense. So while we want to beat up on the lowly man down here, we have to also look at the politicians.
Politicians, yeah.
Because they too, the people we choose to lead us, will dictate where we go, you know.
True.
And again, Junior, Choppa, Beast, whatever you give money or to is what will grow. And we keep on allowing these things to grow. Because if you have a well-manicured lawn there, from the time one bad grass grow in it and they pluck it out, it's gone. But when you allow them to grow and drop seeds, what happened?
Yeah.
That is what we are allowing in these places because of our very leaders. That is something nobody seems to want to touch. Now, I'm not talking on this panel.
Right.
But I'm talking about sometimes society-wise, because we might love a party or we might love a certain person. No. We live and we see the realities surrounding us in our societies. Let us first accept the realities and then we'll be able to act.
Right. I don't know if you guys remember this story of Andrew Fahey, the premier of the BVI. Well, on February 8th, right? February 8th, he was the premier of the BVI, and he was caught in Florida. Now, on February 8th, a jury in Southern District of Florida found him guilty. The premier, he was premier of BVI from 2019 to 2022 for drug trafficking and money laundering. So when you talk about politician hand in the cookie jar, right? He was basically the premier, or what they would term the prime minister, because, well, he's the premier because he's not independent. The premier of that country. And he was infiltrating the port because the other person that got charged with him was the person who works at the port. And it was a whole transshipment of drugs and guns within the BVI. And that's recently. So I understand when you say about the government and how government has a part to play, but sometimes they have a standoff approach to dealing seriously with violent crime. And that particular instant right here is a fact that is happening and that could happen.
Diplomatic passports save a lot of people, you know, Junior. Diplomatic passports save a lot of people. Yeah? But I'm happy when you have jurisdiction that says, you know what, to hell with the diplomatic passport, you're breaking the law. And you who are in the position, you are a lawmaker, you put legislation in place that are going to pull criminals, you know, you are the one who determine what punishment is and so forth, and you doing the same thing. So you should be immune. It's like right now in St. Vincent, legal weed for some and weed to send to prison for others. So the politicians and their cronies and the higher ups now have legal weed that you can go and buy. But somebody else on the street, he's going to jail.
Right.
What makes the weed different?
Right.
Because they're smoking it the same way.
Yeah.
So what makes it different? And I said that to bring back home what you said, Junior. They are in place where they think that they can get away from the very laws that they put in place to be implemented.
True. And we saw that in the BVI. Let me just give quickly on a programming note, guys. This program is brought to you with the kind compliments of JetBlue. Don't forget, if you're flying to Grenada, the Caribbean, you want to get on the JetBlue 2 non-stop flight from JFK to Grenada. Check out jetblue.com. That's 2 daily flights in the morning and in the evening time. Check it out, jetblue.com. Also, if you're in Boston, if you could fly JetBlue on a Saturday to Grenada, fly with JetBlue. Ride Along Live is also brought to you with the kind compliments of Ride e-bike excursions and tours. Now, if you're in a hotel anywhere in Grenada, Carriacou and PT Martinique, and you want to get around, you want to go on a nice little ride excursion, take your family on a nice little outing, you could now rent your e-bike and it could be dropped off to you at your hotel. All right. Ride e-bike is the economical way to get around. Now, there are a lot of traffic, and we urge you that this is the way to get around. You could rent it. Of course, if you want to join us for our Sunday excursion this week, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be in Carriacou. Ride e-bike. You get to ride and enjoy the beauty of Carriacou. So rent your e-bike right there from the Esplanade Mall. It's Ride e-bike and have so much fun. Don't forget, again, we have a new special coming in for the month of March. If you rent your e-bike, you make a call to a tour, excursion, or exclusive number, you could get your bike dropped off at your hotel. All right? Call. The number that you call is 473-422-1011. That's 473-422-1011. Call right now. How to give a programming note there, guys. We're way over time, and we thank our guests for extending that additional time to us. Kenson, very passionate, love to have the discussion. Choppa, John West, Beast, I wish we had another hour so that we could have gone into this discussion, guys. I know it is what it is. It is what it is. So let's get with some closing thoughts. Let's start with you, Raymond, Mathew, the Beast. What's your closing thoughts, your general idea and conclusion to this discussion here today?
One thing I want to say is that we are not that bad in Grenada in terms of crime. We're still a peaceful country in that regard. Support your local police. Don't take anything for granted. Once you see any crime, any offenses being committed out there, it's your business. It's our country. So let's do our best to support the local police and fight down crime. That's it from me, brother.
Absolutely. And before we go to Kenson and Choppa, we got reports earlier that a deportation order was handed down from the Kingston Magistrate Court on Monday for the 3 Grenadians who are now the main suspect in the murder case of the 2 American citizens, including the list of violent crime that was done in Grenada, allegedly, after pleading guilty for 4 immigration charges when they were first appeared at the court last Monday. Senior Magistrate Colin John ordered that the men be deported from St. Vincent and the Grenadines and returned to Grenada. So they will be deported back to Grenada, and they will face all charges there in Grenada, because there was a jurisdictional issue as to would they be tried in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because I'm not sure if it was already established that the crime of the 2 American citizens who died in St. Vincent waters or in Grenada waters. I guess that was figured out, and now they're going to be deported back into Grenada. That's the latest on that news right there. Kenson King, summary of all of the stuff that we were able to touch on today. Well, Kenson, for some reason, your audio, I think, is muted.
Yeah, my mute. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me say, for us, that I will never advocate against anybody's rights. That's not what I've been doing.
Right.
I'm simply saying that if you choose the life of a criminal, you should be treated as such. That's it. No, the thing is that all I'll say, respect the laws of your country, live well within your society, and be good. But I'll say too, let the legislature put legislation in place that will strengthen our collective security systems, that will have us even be able to look out for each other, because it's needed. And for Grenada, I think, again, because you guys have such a low amount of crimes and so forth, I think you guys have become a little lax, because you think, oh, nothing can happen. No, it's just the everyday mundane. Get out of that kind of mindset and get back into the mindset of it's security, and always never take anything for granted. Keep on paying attention and get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely right. Thank you so much. And Choppa John West, your conclusion on it? Choppa, I think you're muted. If you want to press that mute button on and off.
No, I'm good. I don't think I'm muted.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, but thank you, Junior. It was really a pleasure hanging out with these guys, Kez and Beast. Good conversation. I think one of the takeaway from me is that it's very important that we as Caribbean countries look at what's happening in the region. We should be our brothers' keepers. We should learn from each other. Jamaica, while have a larger population size, doesn't mean that some of the strategies that is implemented are deployed in Grenada or even in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, that it cannot work in Jamaica. And equally, Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines should look at some of the things that Jamaica would have employed. I think it's very important that we all agree that spending a significant amount of our GDP on our police force is important. Security is important to every civilized country. And for us to really maximize our true potential as Caribbean country, we must project a secure society. And a secure society means that you have to invest in security. You have to ensure that the police precincts and stations that the police operate from is in tip-top shape. You have to make sure that the police vehicle that they use is first class. The equipment that they use in terms of modern technology, getting them the necessary technology so that they can detect criminals, because criminals are arming themselves. They're getting themselves prepared. So you have to keep your police force ahead of the game. And that's my takeaway, for us to just look at individual countries, see how best we can learn from each other and what it is that we can do to keep criminal activities at a low. I agree with Guest. We need to ensure that the rights of every citizen is protected. But if you choose a life of crime, then do not expect to go to a hotel when you get caught. Do not expect to have hotel treatment, or the environment in which you're housed not supposed to be a hotel. It's supposed to be an environment that tells you, do not come back here, and tell your cronies, don't get in here. So I'm not worried about the garbage piling up. There should be probably more in there. And that would act as a deterrent. But again, great conversation, guys. I hope we will meet again to have this another time. Thank you, Junior.
Absolutely. Well, when come to regional discussion, right along is the spot. I mean, as you see, we have the tentacles all over the Caribbean. You're in Jamaica. We have Kenson King, my brother, in St. Vincent. We have Beast in Grenada and Antigua. We have it all connected. And I like to have this kind of regional conversation so people don't think that this is isolated to only St. Vincent or isolated to only Grenada. We have a pandemic of illegal firearm that's affecting our communities, and we need to look at it from a regional solution perspective, not only isolated. So I love the discussion, guys. Hopefully the powers that be are listening, and some of the initiatives and plans that you outline here today would take into serious consideration. Appreciate you, my brother.
Junior, before you go, could you send the guys' numbers for me so that we go to interact?
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Of
Okay, no problem at all.
Is a network. Is a network. Is that a family, right? Along is a family.
Oh yeah.
And this is our Caribbean.
Yes.
Yes. Our place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Beast. Thank you,
guys. Peace.
And of course, Choppa.
Bye, everybody. Good.
Yeah, guys. So this was a very important discussion by my brothers. Serious brothers in national security of their own specific territorial waters, their own specific territory, and they're very serious about protecting it. Grenada is no different in terms of what's happening here, right? What's happening in Grenada, the influx of guns and crime and the rise of gangs and all this stuff is the same thing that we've seen in St. Lucia, what we've seen in St. Vincent, and what we've been seeing in Jamaica, influx of it in Trinidad and Tobago. It has to be dealt with regionally. And that's my take. And I got some closing final words. We've got a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Special privilege of sampling the Golden Jubilee edition of the limited edition spice rum from the Grenada distillers, and I must say it's something that you should try. It is authentically Grenadian, but from the flavors to the aromas to the overall taste, the blend is great. It's light, it's golden like the Golden Jubilee, and I think you can make any collector's shelves anywhere in the world. Hats off to the Grenada distillers.
I want you folks to play these 3 games from the NLA. Daily pick 3 cash flow and play with. You will be supporting sports and culture, nation building and our future. So go out and play, folks, make it a must. You will see what the National Lottery is doing for us. When you play pick 3 cash flow and play with, the NLA will support you all the way.
Starting September 30th, Monday to Friday, these 3 games will be drawn mid-morning, 9:45 a.m., midday, 12:45 p.m., and evenings, 7:45 p.m. The National Lotteries, supporting sports, culture, and nation building.
Sunday money.
The Ministry of Tourism and Economic Development and the Grenada Tourism Authority extend a warm welcome to visitors and returning nationals visiting for Carnival and summer vacation. We do hope you enjoy your stay with us, and we invite you to return with friends and family to celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence on 7th February 2024. Tourism is my business, your business, our business.
Planning and Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
Yeah, guys, if you have a business, or you have an event coming up and you want to send that business or event viral, Ride Along is the place. Last month, guys, again, we're on an upward trajectory, as you can see. Ride Along Live, we're able to reach over 1.6 million viewers last month, and we continue to climb. So if you want to take advantage of all these viewership on the platform, not only on Facebook, but on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, advertise your business on Ride Along Live. In fact, for the month of March, we have a March Madness special. Inbox us for more information how you could advertise your business right here on Ride Along Live and send your business viral. Give us a call today at 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. Or better yet, easier, inbox us right here on Ride Along Live and get your advertising package right here on this platform. Ride Along Live, where it pays to advertise.
Advertise with us and reach millions daily, weekly, monthly. Yeah, over 10 million per month. It pays to advertise with us. Reach more and let us send your business viral. Advertise with us and reach more.
Ride Along Live is also brought to you with the kind compliments of Ride, e-bikes, excursions, and tours. Guys, if you are in a hotel or a house or any place and you would like to rent one of our e-bikes, give us a call. We are located inside the Esplanade Mall. Some people come down to Grenada and they want to get around. Now, these e-bikes is electronic bikes. Get it? It's electronic bikes. So there's a battery in there that allows you to go faster without pedaling, right? It goes up to 20 miles per hour, 20 miles per hour. And this is the way to get around, fastest. So rent an e-bike at the Esplanade Mall, guys. It's only 99 EC per day, 99 EC per day. Give us a call at 473-422-1011. Rent one of these bikes. You could get it for an hour, you could get it for 2 hours, you could get it for a whole entire day. Heck, you could get it for a couple days if you want to. But this is the way to get around. Check us out inside the Esplanade Mall. We are kiosk number 3, 123. Look for us. You can't miss us. We're right there. Pick up your bike and go. It takes 2 seconds. You're in and out. No time. Rent your e-bike from Riders E-Bike Excursions and Tours. Now, listen, guys, if you want to join us in Carriacou this Sunday, this Saturday and Sunday, guys, we're going to be in Carriacou. We are going to be in Carriacou. The date on the flyer is wrong, but the date is actually from the 9th to the 11th in Carriacou, from Saturday to Monday. You're leaving Saturday and you're coming back down for work in the morning. So if you want to ride with us in Carriacou, it's an excursion in Carriacou, give us a call, 473-422-1011. Book right now. We have about 4 more spots available for Carriacou. It's Ride Excursion inside Carriacou. Yes, ride in Carriacou. And let me tell you, that's the most fun you're going to have. That's the most fun you will have. Ride in Carriacou. Hillsborough will come in. And listen, this one is going to be so big. I am personally taking a JetBlue and head down to Carriacou for this ride. I am personally heading to Carriacou to be a part of Ride Excursion in Carriacou. If you want to be there, give us a call. Ride Carriacou. Ride in Carriacou, guys. You can also check us out online. It's Ride. Let me put the website, ridersebike.com. That's the website right there. Go on there and book your next ride. We in Carriacou this Saturday and Sunday. As somebody say, we're riding overseas. It's going to be really nice, guys. See you in Carriacou. Yeah. Guys, listen. Let me say this, right? In reference to the conversation that we had today, it's important that we understand that for law enforcement, I'm talking to now, for law enforcement officers, you cannot let up. I remember a few years ago, and I never told the story yet, right? So I'm telling you guys quickly here. The first time, I remember a few years ago, I was driving, my license was expired. That's in the US, that's in New York, yeah. So I had a suspended driver's license. I didn't know. So I got pulled over by police. And after I got pulled over by police, I got arrested. Okay? It was one of the realest, like it hit me like a brick. Because from the time I got arrested, guys, and I'm saying it's just my license. But no, I was put into handcuffs. I was sent to the police station. When you go into the police station, they take off your belt, they take off your shoes, they take off your shoelace, not your shoes, your shoelace, your belt, everything. So you had to hold up your pants, all kind of thing, because they don't want you to use it as, people would use it as arm or to probably do something to themselves. So you was taken to the system. After you were taken to the police station, then you were taken down to central booking. And the process of going to central booking, let me tell you, we was moving from one cell to the next because you have to go up the whole chain to go and see the judge, right? And every time we move from one cell, and mind you, I didn't kill nobody. I didn't rob nobody. I didn't steal from nobody. My license was suspended. I was chain locked to the next person next to me by my feet and my hands. And we had to move in a line and just chain going up the step. You swear think it's like we are like hardened criminals who committed the most brutal cursed sin. And that was my experience in going through the process here in the US. Again, I was arrested, yes. And I'm figuring they take this thing so serious. Well, I mean, they have prisoners escape in the system here. I'm not saying so. But the fact that we were treated, even me, who was there for a suspended driver's license, they didn't say, well, this boy can't kill. I can't even break a feather. Nah, they took it seriously from beginning to end, protocol all the way through. So for law enforcement, you can't ease up, because what we've seen here, I believe if true protocol was followed, we probably would not have been in the situation that we are in right now, where we have two unsuspecting tourists who just came here on the yacht because they love the country to be caught up in this mess. Now the family mourning, and it's a long effect. You know what I mean? It's a long effect, because this news is all over the damn place. Come on, man. To these three young men, you didn't have to kill them. You didn't have to do that. Even if you had to keep them in there and take the yacht and go to St. Vincent and let it go their way. Eh? The protocol wasn't followed, and these young men, I don't know, I don't understand, because you're already in trouble and you put yourself in more trouble again. So, it's tough. I know it's tough for the family to hear this and see what's going to happen. Now they're going to be deported back to Grenada. They're going to go through the process and face some serious time if found guilty for the alleged murder of these two individuals, and for all the other things that they did while in Grenada. I heard of gang rape, I hear of robbery with firearm, all sorts of things. They would have to face the fire for that. And because they was stupid. They did the most. Anyway, guys. Anyway, I'm going to continue to watch this what happened here in this particular case and continue to update everyone on Ride Along Live. Don't forget, guys, this program is brought to you with the kind compliments of Ride E-Bikes, Excursions and Tours. We encourage you to rent your e-bike inside the Esplanade Mall. Also advertise with us right here on Ride Along Live. You could even advertise inside of the mall on our big screen TV, Ride Excursions and Tours. I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank my producer, Lois JJ, hard working and ensuring that we have this type of discussions on a daily basis. Round of applause to you, JJ. Also to our moderators and everyone here at Team Ride Along Live, we say good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being a part of our program. Catch you guys again tomorrow. Good night.